Hello boys and girls, a very good evening and welcome to this live session on reasoning ability for your IBPS Pure Prelims exam brought to you by TalentSprint. I hope all of you are in good health and your preparation for this highly competitive exam, which is scheduled to start from the 7th of October, is in the highest gear possible, right? I think we are just about 10 days away from the examination, and these 10 days are very, very important so that you keep your morale up and be confident that you can really do well in these exams, right? I mean, practice of course would continue till the last day of the examination, but I think it's time now that you start focusing more on your mental preparedness to deal with that 1 hour of the examination, right? Like I've always said, it's not just about knowledge. It is about your state of mind, right? It's about your time management skills, right? It's about your ability to work under pressure that gets tested here in these exams, right? So knowledge alone is not going to help, right? I'm sure you have practiced enough in the last 2, 3, 4 months or maybe a year or more, right? Depending on when you started your preparation for this exam. But yeah, you should start practicing more on, keeping yourselves confident and composed and relaxed during that 1 hour of the examination so that you can give your best shot possible. All right. Now, I see a lot of you have joined the chat already. Thank you for joining us, and for the benefit of those who have been those who are new to this live session, let me mention that there's this chat box right below the right beside the video screen, which you can use to interact with us, right? So I see Sayali, Aparjit, Archana, Subrat, Sairam, and many others who have joined our session already, right? Anandi. So good evening, guys. We also have Suraj, Vijay Lakshmi, Shushant Jadhav, Vandana Kumari, Chaitanya, Moti, Naveen, Rahul, Sahana, Arpita Chaudhary, Dharmaraj, right? Neeraj Kumar and others there. Good. So I think before we start solving a few questions from reasoning ability, you know that the session today is on reasoning ability, where we'll be looking at a few questions from the last year's paper, right? I mean, we've already done one session on quantitative aptitude. We have done one on English language last week. So I think we'll focus on reasoning today. But you know that this is one of those many live sessions that we are doing for IBPS PU exam, right? I mean, the other live sessions are available for TalentSprint students and also the grade up students in a few cases. But yeah, these live sessions I'm sure will add value to your preparation and also boost your confidence, right? A few days before you go for the exam. So I think before we start solving these previous year questions from the reasoning paper, all I would like to know is how is your preparation so far, and how confident are you about your IBPS Pure Prelims attempt this year, right? I would like to know what exactly is the state of your mind now, right? How do you feel about it? We also have Lakshmi, Jiban, Ravi Rathod, Manish Sharma, right? Manish Sharma says, चलिए शुरू करते हैं. हाँ, शुरू करते हैं कौन बनेगा करोड़पति टाइप्स. हाँ, शुरू करते हैं कौन क्रैक करेगा IBPS PU exam types. But I would like to interact with you guys and understand what is your confidence level. We'll try and solve as many questions as possible in that next 40-45 minutes that we have. Yeah. Sumit Sharma has asked me a question, right? How much cutoff do you expect this time? Well, Sumit, I don't really consider that as a question in the first place, right? I mean, I don't even want to worry about what would be the expected cutoff. All I would worry about is my preparation, right? Okay, what is my preparation level and how much what can I do in that limited 1 hour of time? Cutoff is not in my control. Let's not worry about it. Yeah. I think the more you think about cutoff, the more nervous you would get. So try and keep it simple. We have Radhakrishnan here who says, I feel that I would qualify prelims but not sure about the mains. Good. I think at least you're clear that you will clear the prelims exam, and mains is not difficult. In fact, in my opinion, mains exam is easier to crack compared to the prelims one. Yeah. Atul says, I have a problem in English only. Good. I mean, not good that you have a problem in English only, but good that you know that there is a problem, and I'm sure you have taken efforts to improve your score there. Sanjeev Singh says Bhagwan Bharose. हाँ. Yeah, Sanjeev, I think वैसे तो सभी चीज़ आप बोल सकते हो भगवान भरोसे हैं, लेकिन क्या पता वो आपके भरोसे बैठा हो. This is very important, not important, but one of my favorite dialogues from this movie called Manji, right? Starred by Nawazuddin Siddiqui, right? This is about this mountain man. You know the mountain man who's cut this mountain to create a path between these two villages, right? So it's very, I mean, this is the real interview which has been showcased in the movie as well, where the interviewer, the TV reporter, asked this question about how did he do it, and what made him feel so confident and all that. So his response to one such question is that लोग पता नहीं क्यों भगवान के भरोसे बैठते हैं, शायद वो आपके भरोसे बैठा हो. So don't just depend on that. I think, I'm sure your preparation will help you do well. Rajaram says calm and cool. I'm pretty sure for reasoning is what Rajesh Rawat has mentioned. Umang Bhatt is 100% confident. Yeah. Circular arrangement is something there where you need help, right? Good. I think we'll take up one question on circular arrangement. Arun Prakash says bits and pieces of problem in every section. See, Arun, I think there will be problems in every section. All you have to prepare now is to be confident, and that feel that confidence that you can crack it, right? No point in worrying too much about stuff now. Saurabh Parekh has asked me a question. Any tips for the first shift students? Well, Saurabh, I would say that you guys are the luckiest. I mean, if you are from the first shift of IBPS Pure Prelims exam, you must consider yourself to be really lucky. I know a lot of students would feel that if I get the exam in the last slot, I'll be luckier because I'll get a week of extra preparation. I can also talk to people who have already taken the exam, get feedback from them, and then change my strategy accordingly. In my view, it doesn't really help, right? The later your slot is, the more nervous you would get, right? I mean, these people will come out of the examination hall and only add to your nervousness. कि भाई ये पूछ लिया, ये नहीं आया, वो नहीं आया. These type of questions were asked, and you'll only get nervous, right? So first slot may just go, take it, and come back and continue with your preparation, right? I mean, we'll see what happens when the results come, but continue with the preparation the very same day after you have stepped out of the examination hall. So I think you should be considering yourself lucky, and all the best. Just go and do well. Okay. Yeah. Pankaj says I feel nervous as soon as the time starts. Pankaj, like I've always said, see, little bit of nervousness is natural. People do feel nervous. You should be worried if you're not feeling nervous at all. I mean, that actually tells that something is wrong. But anything beyond a particular point would be hampering your performance. So little bit of nervousness is okay. Don't think too much about it. I mean, the more you think about it, the more nervous you would get. Just go ahead and give your best. That is it. Yeah. Ratika Sharma says, sir, confidence नहीं आता है आंसर में. Ratika Sharma, confidence नहीं आता है आंसर में तो क्या किया जाए? I think, see, I think more than shortcut or technique or approach, ये confidence वाली problem common है, right? I mean, काफी students के साथ ये issue होता है कि भाई confidence नहीं है. I mean, they can perform really well, they are very smart, but वो confidence नहीं आता है, and then they screw up their own performance, right? I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of people who are very good in academics, right? They can really solve these questions very quickly, very smartly. But they fail in these exams, right? In these competitive exams. On the contrary, we have people who are average, right? Or sometimes even below average, but they know how to deal with that pressure, right? They can manage time really well. They have that confidence, and they crack it. So it's not just about knowledge. That's what I'm telling you, right? You have to now start focusing more on your confidence than your preparation for the various concepts. You're getting it? Confidence is really very important. Just preparation alone is not going to help you. Okay? So all you guys who have got a problem with confidence level, I think learn to start dealing with it, right? And follow Virendra Sehwag is one thing I could say, right? I mean, personally, my favorite batsman, super confidence, right? Other batsmen usually settle down and then hit a boundary. This guy is like first hits a boundary and then settles down, right? Confidence. I mean, 294 पे छक्का कौन मारता है, right? Confidence. So we have to learn. We have. I mean, there's something that you can learn from all these people, and I think Virendra Sehwag shows that epitome of confidence. So be confident. I think sometimes you may have to fake it, but just do it. Yeah. Okay. Should we start now? मानस पांडा से सर एग्जाम में टाइम बुलेट ट्रेन की तरह चला जाता है. या ऐसा नहीं है कि वो 1 घंटा बाकी 1 घंटे से कम होता है. मतलब एग्जाम का 1 घंटा भी उतना ही 1 घंटा है जितना आपको अदरवाइज एग्जामिनेशन हॉल के बाहर मिलता है. बट या क्योंकि सिचुएशन ऐसी होती है, आप प्रेशर के अंडर यू आर वर्किंग अंडर प्रेशर, यू फील कि भाई टाइम इज रनिंग आउट. That is the skill, right? That's the skill. I mean, I wish we had a simple medicine or a pill which I can give you to deal with it, but unfortunately we don't have. Nobody has. You have to learn to deal with it. Okay, so let's start. I think we can start solving some questions and then get back to this discussion. Okay. Yeah, so what I'll do is, since some of you have requested me for a circular arrangement, we have picked up one question from the last year's paper. This is again based on memory. To be honest, I don't know if it is really a last year's paper question or not, but yeah, a good question on circular arrangement where you have to arrange a few people around a circular table and also assign some parameter to them. I think their salary or something that they like. Okay, so I'll share this question with you all, give you some time to try it out and then discuss the solution. So let me present the first question, which is on your screens now. Yeah, I have jumped some questions on coded inequalities, which we'll take up after this. Let's start with circular arrangement. So here's the data that you have, right? Directions. Look at what it says. Study the following information carefully and answer the questions below. So it says 8 people, A, B, C, D, W, X, Y, and Z are sitting in a circle facing the center. All 8 people are from different place. Okhla, Dwarka, Lajpat Nagar, Chanakyapuri, Saket, Mehrauli, Rohini, and Karol Bagh, but not necessarily in the same order. And then there's a lot of data given there, right? W is sitting third to the left of Y. The person who is from Dwarka is to the immediate right of W, and W is not from Okhla, and so on. So I think 8 persons to be arranged around a circular table, and we have to find out which person belongs to which of these 8 places. So a kind of complex circular arrangement should not take more than 5 minutes if you attempt, right? The best way to solve such questions in the exam is to skip, right? Smart people will skip this question and jump to the next one, right? I mean, there are 5 questions on this. They will move to the 6th question immediately because they know that this is the riskiest thing to do in the exam, right? You never know how much time it's going to take. But from the practice point of view, yes, you definitely have to try it out. So I'll leave you with this for 5 minutes. Your clock starts now. Let's see how many of you are able to complete this. Supposedly one of the last year's questions from IBPS Pure Prelims exam. Oh, we have Nilesh Chaudhary and Namar Agarwal who have already done this and they say that it's easy. But on the other hand, we have Sanjeev Singh who says too much of effort is required, I'll skip it. Sanjeev, good idea. You should skip this question in the exam, not here. Take this out. Because you never know what is going to happen in your exam, right? Maybe your IBPS Pure Prelims exam this year will have all 35 questions and arrangements. You can't be skipping all the questions then, right? So you have to be prepared for the worst. So seriously give it a shot and I'm sure you'll be able to crack it. See, Mohit Chaudhary has also got it. Anjali Tiwari, Karthik, Hitesh, all these guys have done, right? Karthikeyan Jairaj has also done it. And so has Anil Kiran. Good, I hope all of you have got the right arrangement. 2-3 more minutes to go, after which we will take this up. Yeah, Amit says it's not easy. Akanksha Sridhar, Jiban, Neeraj Jha, and Supernatural. These guys have done it. Rahul says it's not so tough. Yeah. Shubhajit Das has also said that he'll skip it. Good, you should skip it in the exam, Das, but not here. Archana, Amrita, Vikas, Vijay Lakshmi, Anu, Subbu, Sumit Sharma, these guys have done. Right, all these guys have got it. Shubham Joshi says, I've lost it in the middle. 2 more minutes and then we'll take it up. Speed up, I'm sure you'll be able to do it yourself. And like most of your friends have mentioned, not very complex, right? Not very tough. Surat in fact says it's very easy. Yeah, I'll present the questions. I'm sure those who all have done it are getting impatient. They want to see the questions now. Answering questions is a cakewalk, right? I mean, that's not a task at all. All we need to do is get the arrangement done properly. Yeah, Vishal Maheshwari has also got it. Akanksha in fact says that it's so easy that not even a single possibility is required. Yeah. रतिका शर्मा से सर ऐसे क्वेश्चन में टाइम ऐसे स्लिप होता है. रतिका टाइम इसलिए स्लिप हो रहा है क्योंकि आप ट्राई कर रहे हो, राइट? आपको अटेम्प्ट ही नहीं करना है एग्जाम में. हाँ, यहाँ पे डेफिनेटली आपको प्रैक्टिस के लिए करना है, बट एग्जाम में बिल्कुल ट्राई ना करें. फिनिश्ड, डन. 1 more minute, last minute before we take this up. मोहित चौधरी से ऐसे ही सीटिंग अरेंजमेंट आई थी, तभी मेरा क्लियर हुआ था लास्ट ईयर. सत्येंद्र कुमार से सर रिलेशंस वाले बताओ जिसमें फैमिली मेंबर सर्कल में बैठे हैं, वो वाला टफ होता है, वो बताओ. वेल सत्येंद्र, आई नो कि वो वाले क्वेश्चंस टफ होते हैं. बाय द वे, टाइम इज अप. आई विल टेक अप द सॉल्यूशन नाउ. लेट मी जस्ट आंसर अ कपल ऑफ क्वेरीज हियर. सो सत्येंद्र सेज के जो ब्लड रिलेशंस के साथ अरेंजमेंट्स पूछे जाते हैं ना, मतलब W's mother is sitting second to the right of W's brother and stuff like that, right? Really complex ones. You know, the easiest way to solve these questions is never try it. Skip and go to the next one. This is like angur khatte types, right? There's no shortcut. To be very honest, I don't have any shortcut to solve these arrangements. It all depends, right? There's an approach. You have to follow a step-by-step process. Like, you know, read statement by statement. You start with the right statement and then try to fill the gaps and all that can be done. But how much time it is going to take, you never know, right? I mean, there are a few arrangements which I have not been able to crack in the last 3 months. I've been trying. I mean, not that I've been trying continuously for last 3 months, but whenever I find time, I like take it up. I still don't get it. I mean, like, man, kaisa complex arrangement hai ye? So the point is, even if I am taking the exam, I would just skip. I mean, my strategy is skip, solve the easier ones first, mark these questions for review. If time permits, come back. Yeah. So all of you stick to that strategy, and I'm sure you'll be able to do well, right? Anyway, let me present this now and discuss the solution with you all. Most of you have found it to be easy, I'm sure. Others who have not got it will know where they have committed a mistake and improve it from here on. So here's the solution. See what it says. Study the following information carefully and answer the questions below. So 8 people A, B, C, D, W, X, Y, and Z. So there are 8 persons, A, B, C, D, W, X, Y, and Z, who are sitting in a circle facing the center, right? Who are sitting in a circle facing the center. So the best part is all of them are facing center, right? Remember, persons, whether they're facing center or outwards, is very important. Yeah. Just a second. Right, people, whether they're facing center or outwards is very important, because that will tell you that will give you the direction sense, right? See, in all these questions, left, right will be used too often. So you should know what is meant by left and what is meant by right. So when you say that 8 people, A, B, C, D, W, X, Y, and Z are sitting in a circle facing the center, the advantage is all of them are facing center, right? All these guys are facing center, and when persons are facing center, left should be taken in the clockwise direction and right has to be taken in the anti-clockwise direction, right? Left is in the clockwise direction, right is in the anti-clockwise direction. Hold on, I think my pen here has stopped working. Just give me a second. Hold on, guys, I have some technical difficulty here. Let me, looks like I may have to reboot. Anyways, so 8 people, all of them are facing center. The point I'm trying to make is left should be taken in the clockwise direction and right has to be taken in the anti-clockwise direction, right? That's the rule. Then all 8 people are from different places. So 8 different places have been given: Okhla, Dwarka, Lajpat Nagar, Chanakyapuri, Saket, Mehrauli, Rohini and Karol Bagh. And from here onwards the clues start. So just give me a minute. I'll try and restart the software here. Looks like it's got stuck. Alright guys, apologies for the inconvenience caused. I have some serious technical issue here, trying to get that sorted out. Just allow us a few more minutes. moving. All right, guys, apologies for the inconvenience caused. There's some serious technical challenge that I have, and this is really embarrassing. But while the technical team tries to fix it and put it in place, let's get to discussion about what you have to do in the exam, right? I mean, during the exam, I'm sure you'll have a lot of questions. There were in fact a lot of questions before we started taking up this solution, right? About what should be done in the exam, in what sequence should we attempt questions and all that, in what sequence should we attempt the sections, etc. So why don't you just start asking me your questions related to the IBPS PU exam or any concerns that you have while this is getting fixed, right? I hope all of you are able to see the live stream without any difficulty, right? Surat says during SIR sessions only we are facing these type of problems. Yeah, the technology is not supporting me, only me. Yeah, so I can see a lot of you have got the answers there. Surat says in the clockwise direction, it should be Y Okla, B Mehrauli, C Dwarka, W Karol Bagh, D Saket, Z Rohini, A Lajpat Nagar, and X Chanakyapuri. I hope all of you have got the same answer. I'm sure not a very complex one. Yeah. Okay, Girish Tiwari has asked this question, right? Which sequence should, which section do we have to attempt first? Sorry, just a second. Yeah, so in which sequence should we attempt the sections? So I think, yeah, this is a very important question. We would anyway discuss this in detail when we meet on next Wednesday, right? I'm sure all of you are aware of the schedule. Next Wednesday, same time, we'll be taking up the IBPS PU exam strategy at 6 p.m., right? Where we'll discuss about how should you behave during that 1 hour of your IBPS PU preliminary examination. Right, so we'll discuss that in detail. But I think now that we have anyway taken it up, the sequence that you should follow largely depends on your own strengths and weaknesses, right? I think more than the sequence, what is important is you stick to the time allocation that you have done across these 3 sections. See, we have got 60 minutes of time, 100 questions to be answered across 3 different sections: quantitative aptitude, reasoning ability, and English language, right? And I'm sure all of you will have some breakup of this 60 minutes across these 3 sections. It is very important that you have your own split of time across the 3 sections, right? You should go with a strategy. That's what we are going to cover next Wednesday in detail. So the point I'm trying to make is, more than the sequence in which you attempt the sections, what is important is you stick to the time limit that you have decided. Most of the times what happens is we decide that, okay, I'll spend 20 minutes on reasoning, but you end up spending more on reasoning. Or you decide that I'll finish English language section in 12 minutes. You start with English language section, but you end up spending like 15-16 minutes, and you kind of don't follow what you had decided for yourself, and eventually you are not able to give your best in the exam, right? So what I would say is, stick to whatever you have decided. If it is 12 minutes for English language, whether you have done 30 questions in those 12 minutes or 25 questions in those 12 minutes or 20 questions in those 12 minutes, just jump to the next section as per your sequence, right? Or whichever section you want to do after that, right? So that you see, like I said, what should not happen to you is stepping out of the examination hall with a feeling that, oh, I did not even read all the 100 questions. I mean, that's the worst thing that can happen to an aspirant. Whether you solve 100 questions or not is secondary, but you should ensure that you attempt all the 100 questions. By attempt, I mean you should at least read all the 100 questions. Like for example, this circular arrangement that you have taken up, right? Let's say I'm writing the IBPS PU preliminary examination. I decided that I'll start with reasoning ability, right? The moment I enter the reasoning section, the first question is the circular arrangement. Within no time, my first 5 questions are done because I've decided I'll not solve it. So attempt is over, right? I have decided, I have taken a cautious decision that I don't want to solve these 5 questions. I'll jump to the 6th one. Right, 6th, 7th, 8th, I'll solve. Let's say these questions are from blood relations or syllogisms or coded inequalities. Again, 9 to 13 or 9 to 14 are from a complex linear arrangement. I'll just skip it. I'll go to the next one. I have attempted 14 questions. I might have solved only 3 of those 14, which is fine, but I have attempted all the 14 questions. I know what happened in those 14 questions to me, right? So it is very important that you run through all the 100 questions in those 60 minutes of time and choose the easiest ones so that you can maximize your score, right? I mean, easiest meaning the ones which would take less time. These are the questions where you never know how much time it's going to take. Okay, so I think this is how smart people behave in the exam, and that's what makes them smart, right? That's what helps them score more. If the same 100 questions are given to you with 3 hours of time, let's say, all of you will get 100 on 100. No doubt about it, right? Can we not solve these questions? All of us can solve all these questions. What matters is how many of these questions can you solve in that limited 1 hour of time? How do you manage your time, right? That is where the key lies. And that comes through practice again, right? That also comes through practice. So yeah, more than sequence. Stick to the time allocation. We will discuss in detail when we meet next Wednesday at 6 p.m. On your IBPS exam strategy. I hope the technology will support me now. So let me share the screen again and present the solution to the question that we have taken up. Yeah. So here we go. Alright, so here's the question. It says 8 people A, B, C, D, W, X, Y and Z are sitting in a circle facing the center. Right? Now what's the importance of this word center here? Like we have discussed already, there are two cases when you're doing a circular arrangement or a square table arrangement. I mean, when you're doing a closed loop arrangement, there are two cases. Either the person is facing the center, right? The person is facing the center, or the person faces outwards. These are the only two possibilities, right? Now when a person is facing the center, what happens? Left should be taken in the anti-clockwise direction. I mean, let me put up a table here so that you can follow it easily, right? When a person is facing the center, left should be taken in the anti-clockwise direction, right should be taken in the clockwise direction. Center and outwards, these are the only two possibilities. Okay, left and right. So when a person is facing the center, left should be taken in the clockwise direction. Right has to be taken in the anti-clockwise direction. When a person is facing outwards, left will be towards anti-clockwise and right has to be taken in the clockwise direction. This direction sense is very, very important. If you are not thorough with this, you will not be able to complete any circular arrangement. Simple or complex, you will not be able to solve it. So be very clear and thorough with the direction sense here. So here, all the people are facing center, which means for each of these persons, whenever we want to move towards the left, you should be going in the clockwise direction. When you want to move towards the right, take the anti-clockwise direction. Now, other than the 8 persons here, what we have is 8 different cities, right? Okhla, Dwarka, Lajpat Nagar, Chanakyapuri, and whatever, Saket, Mehrauli, Rohni, and Karol Bagh, which are not necessarily in the same order. So basically, we have to do a circular arrangement where 8 persons have to be arranged and also assign which person belongs to which place. So let me take up a circle, right? First rule, count, right? We know that there are 8 people, so mark 8 positions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. We know that all of them are facing center, so left is always clockwise, right is anti-clockwise. I am starting with one arrangement here. If required, we may duplicate this case to consider multiple possibilities, right? I don't have enough space here, but let's see if we can do it in just one attempt. Yeah. So what's the first point? W is sitting third to the left of Y. W is sitting third to the left of Y. Now you know that the advantage in circular arrangement is you can start from wherever you want. There is no first, second, third, fourth position here, right? Any position can be taken as the first one, and accordingly we can then count the remaining positions, right? Unlike a linear arrangement, what happens in case of a linear arrangement is there is a definite first position. If I have to arrange 8 persons in a straight line, right? This is the first position. This is the second one. This is the third one, fourth one, and so on. So unless I know the position of a particular person from either of the ends, either left end or the right end, I'll not be able to place him on the circle, right? But what happens in case of a circular arrangement is you can start from wherever you want, right? Doesn't really matter. So he says W is sitting third to the left of Y. I can assume that Y is seated here. Now W is third to the left of Y. What is left? Clockwise. So first, second and third. W comes here. Next, the person who is from Dwarka is to the immediate right of W. Now this also is easy to put, right? Person who is from Dwarka is to the immediate right of W. What is immediate right of W? Right is anti-clockwise. Immediate right is this position. So this guy belongs to Dwarka, right? This person belongs to Dwarka. And W is not from Okhla. W is not from Okhla. This person is not from Okhla. So let's say this position cannot be occupied by Okhla. I mean the person who comes from Okhla. Next point, B is sitting fourth to the right of Z. Now if you observe in this particular statement, we have got 2 names, B and Z, none of which have been put on the arrangement so far. We have got W, we have got Y, we have got Dwarka, right? I mean 3 parameters have been positioned, but B and Z both are new. So this statement will not be useful. It will not be of any use immediately, right? So we'll come back to this later. Let's look at the next point. Z is not the neighbor of Y. Z is not the neighbor. Now this is important. We have already marked Y here, right? We know that Z or Z is not the neighbor of Y, which means it cannot come in these two positions. Z cannot come in these two positions, right? Next, neither B nor Z is an immediate neighbor of W. Now W is also already there here in the arrangement. So something connected with W is given in the statement. What is it? Neither B nor Z is an immediate neighbor of W. So B and Z cannot be the neighbors of W. Now what are the neighboring positions of W? These are the two neighboring positions, right? So B and Z cannot come here. B and Z cannot come in this position, and B and Z cannot come in these positions as well. So if you observe, already 4 positions have been blocked for Z. I mean, there are 4 places where Z cannot come. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there are 2 more positions where Z cannot come, wherever W and Y have been placed. So out of the 8 positions, 6 positions have already been eliminated for Z. Right? Z will either come in this place or in this place. Right? These are the only 2 possibilities. What else do we know? I think now if you go back to the previous point, see, now that we have got only 2 choices for Z, I think we can use this statement. What does it say? B is sitting 4th to the right of Z. B is sitting 4 to the right of Z. You got to understand that in a circular arrangement where there are 8 persons, right? In a circular arrangement where we have 8 persons, when we say that, you know, one particular person is sitting 4th to the right of some other person or 4 to the left of some other person, it means these 2 persons are seated opposite to each other. Like here in this case, B and Z are seated opposite each other. You take from wherever you want. Like for example, let's say Y is seated here, right? What is the 4th to the left position of Y? 4 to the left of Y, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. You see, this will be the 4 to the left of Y. What is 4 to the right of Y? 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. 4 to the right of Y is the same position. Similarly, 4 to the left of W, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. This position. You see, opposite to W. Like the previous case, the 4 to the left or 4 to the right of Y is always opposite to Y. Here, 4 to the left of W is opposite to W. 4th to the right of W, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. This is 4 to the right of W. You're getting it? So the point I'm trying to make is, I mean, you should have this understanding. Given that you have solved so many questions on circular arrangements, you should know that when we say B sitting 4 to the right of Z or Z, B and Z are opposite to each other. B and Z are opposite to each other. Okay? Now keeping that in mind, try to fix the positions of these 2 persons. See, we know that Z can either come here or here. The remaining 6 positions are ruled out, right? Z can either come here or here. And wherever Z comes, the opposite position should be occupied by B. Opposite position has to be occupied by B. Clearly, if I take Z in this position here, B has to come in this place, which is for Dwarka. But we have already noted that B cannot come here, which means Z cannot come here. You're able to follow? There were 2 possibilities, Z or Z. This one has been ruled out because if Z is taken here, B has to come here, which is not allowed. Now the only option is Z has to take this position, right? Yes or no? So we now know where Z comes, and based on that we can also fix the position of B. So this is Z, and opposite to that is B. This is B. So 4 persons have been marked: B, Y, Z, W. Next, X is from Chanakyapuri and sitting 3rd to the right of the person from Dwarka. Now since we have already fixed Dwarka, we can fix X, who's from Chanakyapuri. So X is from Chanakyapuri and is sitting 3rd to the right of Dwarka. Right of Dwarka, anti-clockwise, 1st, 2nd, 3rd. This is X, and he's from Chanakyapuri. Right? He's from Chanakyapuri. Next, the person from Marauli is sitting 2nd to the left of the person from Chanakyapuri. So since Chanakyapuri is already fixed, this also can be done, right? 2nd to the left of Chanakyapuri. So left is clockwise, 1st and 2nd. This would be Marauli. Right? Easy so far. I don't see any other possibility, right? In one possibility, we have been able to complete all the points, right? The person from Rohini is sitting 2nd to the left of W. So W is already fixed. You can fix Rohini. Rohini is 2nd to the left of W. So W is here, left, clockwise, 1st and 2nd. So basically, Z belongs to Rohini. Then A, who is from Lajpat Nagar, is sitting exactly between X and Z. So A is exactly, again, A is from Lajpat Nagar and is exactly between X and Z. See, X and Z have been placed exactly between X and Z is this position. And A is from what place? A is from Lajpat Nagar. Yeah? Done. The person from Saket is sitting 2nd to the right of the person from Lajpat Nagar. Saket is 2nd to the right of Lajpat Nagar. Right of Lajpat Nagar, anti-clockwise, 1st and 2nd. This should be Saket. I think we are done. All the persons have been marked except C and D, I guess, right? W, X, Y, Z are there, A and B are there, C and D have to be marked, and then remaining places have to be fixed. C is third to the left of X. C is third to the left of X. C is third to the left of X. Try this. Left of X, first, second, third. C comes here. If C comes here, D has to come here. Right? Now, what are the positions left out? What are the places left out? I think 6 places have been fixed, right? Saket, Rohini, Lajpat Nagar, Chanakyapuri, Dwarka, Mehrauli. What is left out? Okhla and Karol Bagh. We know that W is not from Okhla. If W is not from Okhla, the only choice he has is Karol Bagh. So W is from Karol Bagh. And Y should be from Okhla. Right? Yeah, Y has to be from Okhla. Done. So that's the arrangement. I think in just one try, we are able to complete it. But I would still say that you're better off skipping such questions in the exam, right? I mean, don't take this risk in the exam. The easiest way to solve arrangements, the easiest way to solve questions from arrangements is not to solve it. Just skip and move to the next one. So if you start from Y and go in the clockwise direction, the arrangement is Y, B, C, W, D, Z, A, X. And the sequence of these locations is Okhla, Mehrauli, Dwarka, Karol Bagh, Saket, Rohini, Lajpat Nagar and Chanakyapuri. And now that you have done this, answering the question would be very, very easy. Yeah, look at the questions. So the first one here, who amongst the following persons belong to Okhla? Who belongs to Okhla? Y. That's your answer, right? What is A's position with respect to B? A's position with respect to B, see B is seated here and A is in this position. So with respect to B, from B you are going in the anti-clockwise direction. So obviously right. First, second and third. Third to the right. So A is third to the right of B. How many people are between Z and C when counted in an anti-clockwise direction from C? How many are between Z and C in the anti-clockwise direction from C? Just count. So between C and Z, right? In the anti-clockwise direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 people between C and Z. So your answer has to be 4. Yeah. Next question. 4 of the following 5 pairs are alike in a certain way based on their positions in the above arrangement and so form a group. Which of the following does not belong to the group? So this is about odd one. There are 5 pairs given to us. One of this does not belong to the group of other 4. So we have to find out the odd one. We have to classify them based on some property or some common feature and find out the odd one. So B Rohini, D Okhla, X Dwarka, Z Mehrauli and Y Saket. Yeah. So let's check. I think I'll have to go back to the arrangement to understand this. B Rohini, D Okhla and X Dwarka. Let's consider these 3 first. Is there anything common between these 3? B Rohini, D Okhla and X Dwarka. So B Rohini, okay, observe, B Rohini are opposite to each other. B and Rohini are opposite to each other. Yeah, what are the, I forgot the options. What are the other options? D Okhla and X Dwarka. D Okhla. See, if you observe, D and Okhla are also opposite to each other, right? D and Okhla is also opposite to each other. But X and Dwarka are not opposite, right? X and Dwarka are not opposite. So I see that X and Dwarka does not belong to the group of D and B. Let's confirm from the other 2 options. What are the other 2 options? Y Saket and Z Mehrauli, right? Y and Saket, are they opposite? Yes. Y and Saket are opposite. You see, Y and Saket and Z and Mehrauli are also opposite. So I think the odd one here is X with Dwarka, right? These 2 are not opposite to each other. So that's your answer. Option E. And the last one here, which of the following statements is false? Which of the following statements is false according to the above mentioned arrangement? So what is false according to the above mentioned arrangement? Answer this question. You've been given 5 options. I'm sure you have the arrangement that you have done on the piece of paper in front of you. What is the answer? Which of the following statements is false according to the above mentioned arrangement? Quick. C is to the immediate right of Karol Bagh. The person from Lajpat Nagar is third to the right of the person from Mehrauli. The person from Dwarka is sitting exactly between Karol Bagh and Saket and so on. Quick. A, B, C, D, E. What's the answer? A, B, C, D, E. Option E, option C. Yeah. I think Nilesh Chaudhary, Apurva Rawat, Anu, Bhavya, Roshan Lal, Geetika, all these guys have got C, but we have Ravi Rathod who says it should be E. Arpita and Deepa have also got C. Yeah. So this again is a sitter. You just have to verify from the arrangement that you have done, right? Which of the following is false? Now state option 1, C is to the immediate right of Karol Bagh. C is to the immediate right of Karol Bagh. If you observe, yes, C is to the immediate right of Karol Bagh. This is Karol Bagh, right? Immediate right of that is C. So option 1 is true. What do we want? We want which of this is false. So option 1 cannot be the answer, right? Option 1 is true. We want to find out what is false. The person from Lajpat Nagar is third to the right from Maroli, right? Lajpat Nagar is third to the right of Maroli. True or false? True. See, Maroli is here. Lajpat Nagar, first, second, third. Third to the right of this place. So second option is also true, and hence it is not the answer. Third option, the person from Dwarka is sitting exactly between Karol Bagh and Saket. So Dwarka is between Karol Bagh and Saket. Check. Is Dwarka between Karol Bagh and Saket? No. Dwarka is not between Karol Bagh and Saket. Option 3 is false. Option C is false. And that becomes our answer. And now that we have got the answer, you don't have to verify option D and E. Right? I mean, only one of these 5 has to be false. We have already found that C is false. So don't waste your time in checking the other 2 options. Unless one of the options is a combination of the other 2 options, right? Here we can very clearly see that D and E are independent options. So you don't really have to worry about checking those. So that's about it. 5 questions on circular arrangement. Not very complex like many of you had mentioned, right? It's an easy one. I could see that some of you were, putting up in the chat that are these kind of questions asked in the exam. This is a previous year question. So you are to decide if these kind of questions are asked or not. Yeah. But overall, I would say if you, you should not try this question. Skip is the immediate solution, right? Come back. I mean, mark it for review. If time permits, you can always come back and give it a shot. So A, the best solution is to skip it. B, if you try, I think this is fairly an easy one, right? Should not take more than 3.5 minutes, right? I mean, there's no possibility at all. The best part is in just one attempt, in one circular arrangement, we are able to do. We have solved enough questions in the past where you have to try out 2-3 different cases, right? Put every point in all the 3 cases and find out which one is the final one, right? I mean, somewhere or the other, the rest of those will get eliminated and the one which is left out has to be taken as the correct one. Okay, so I think at best 3 minutes, not more than that for this particular circular arrangement. Okay. Any questions here? Apurva Rawat says, sir, but we have to solve such questions as cutoffs are going nowhere. I repeat myself. When I say skip this question, I don't mean to say that you have to skip it for good. Skip it for the moment. Solve the easier ones first. I'll tell you what happens with most of us. I mean, if you have not taken a bank exam or a competitive exam before this, you might not have experienced it, but ask from those who have, ask to those who have taken any of the competitive exams before, right? You look at the paper, you go to the reasoning section, the first question is on arrangement. You're excited. Arrangement, 5 marks, let me give it a try. You spend 7-8 minutes, you fail to get the answer. You decided that you will not spend more than 20 minutes in reasoning. 7 to 8 minutes are already lost. How many questions did you answer? 0. How many questions did you attempt? 5 questions I can say. You have tried, you have attempted, but you did not get anything. Now this is a pure waste of time in my view. What a smart person would do, mark it for review. I'll come back if I have time. I'm not going to try it now. I'll solve the other independent ones first, right? I'll solve questions on syllogisms first. Now what will happen is, because 7-8 minutes are already lost here, don't compare with this particular question. This was fairly an easy one like most of us have realized. But what if it is really a complex one? What if you get stuck? What if there are 4 possibilities? What if you are unable to decide? Yeah. Now because you have only 12 to 13 minutes left for your reasoning section, I'm sure you will not be able to attempt all the other 30 questions from this section. You will have to leave some of them. And in all probability, the type of questions that you leave will now be decided by the, by the situation there. You are not deciding what questions you want to leave. You understand? I think to put it in simple words, there are two things that can happen. You all know that all the 100 questions cannot be answered. Agree? I'm sure you would agree with this, right? We cannot solve all the 100 questions in 60 minutes of time. Forget about it. And that should not be the target. Your target is not to solve 100 questions. Your target is to solve as many as possible in that limited time. Now, you know that for you to solve as many questions as possible, you should be choosing the easier ones. So you have to leave the most difficult ones. You know who will clear the exam and who will fail? Or who are smart students or who are successful students? Successful students are those who decide themselves what questions have to be left. They choose which questions they want to skip. You know who are usually the unsuccessful ones? Those who fail in these exams or those who fail to get a good score. These are the people for whom the situation decides what questions have to be left, right? So I think the simple difference is you will not be able to, the clear message is you will not be able to solve all the 100 questions. You will have to leave some. Who decide what questions have to be left creates the difference. If you decide, you're doing the right thing. If the situation is deciding that 20 minutes are over, now I have no choice, I have to skip and go to the next section, then you're setting yourselves up for failure. Yeah? So smart people choose questions wisely, and it's not a wise choice to attempt such questions. I'll solve syllogisms first, I'll solve blood relations first, I'll solve directions first, I'll solve coded inequalities first, I'll solve machine input output first, I'll solve alphabet first, because I have a definite method for solving these questions. Getting it? So that's the point. Time is almost up. I mean, we have just 5 minutes owing to that technical difficulty we had, but maybe we'll take a couple of more questions on coded inequalities before we close the session today. Should we go for the next one? Abhirami says, sir, please take a floor puzzle with one or more possibility and also with arithmetic like marks, etc. I think a very interesting question type, right? I mean, floor puzzles, we have seen in the recent past, they're asking floor puzzles where you have to arrange 8 persons on 8 different floors of a building and 2-3 different parameters are associated with them. And forget about 2 possibility, one or more possibility. We have seen cases where we have to have 4 possibilities. A lot of questions have been discussed as a part of the TalentSprint program, online program. I'm sure you can check out all those advanced questions types in our program here. Unfortunately, I don't have anything for the session today, but yeah, you can check out our online program where we have all such questions. Very important to have that approach for floor-based puzzles. Yeah. Any question? Should we go for the next one? Shashank Pandey says, exactly, I don't know the time of live sessions, please inform me. Shashank, I think you don't have to worry about this. This is a solved problem. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and there is this bell icon, right? Hit that. It will notify you whenever we do a live session or whenever we upload a video. So you don't really have to worry about anything, right? In fact, all of you who have not subscribed to the channel, I would strongly recommend that you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on any of the live sessions or videos that get added here. And you can always check these out from time to time. Yeah, so let me present something on coded inequalities, right? Let's take 1 or 2 questions on coded inequalities. Now this again is from the last year's paper based on memory. Coded inequalities hands down is the easiest topic from reasoning ability, right? You cannot expect questions easier than these. So what do we have to do here? Look at the directions. In these questions, a relationship between different elements is shown in the statements. The statements are followed by conclusions. Study the conclusions based on the given statements and select the appropriate answer. Right, now be careful. Option A is your answer if only conclusion 2 is true. Option B would be the answer if only conclusion 1 is true. C is the answer if both 1 and 2 are true. D would be the answer if either of these conclusions is true, and E is the answer if none of these conclusions is true. So statements and conclusions have been given. All you need to do is check which of these conclusions logically follow the given statements. And let me tell you, there are 3 golden rules. I mean, if you have gone through the TalentSprints program, there are 3. I have mentioned this multiple times already. I'm sure all of you must have gone through the coded inequalities video to learn those 3 rules. There are just 3 rules that you need to follow to solve any question from coded inequalities. I mean, you can become a pro in this topic. You can become an expert in this topic in about 30 minutes of time. You should know what are those 3 rules. Anyway, we'll not be discussing those 3 rules in detail here. You can watch that through our videos. Try and solve this question now. Yeah, there's a flood of responses here. Option C, both 1 and 2 are true is what all of you have marked. Good. So I'm glad that you are able to solve these questions very easily. But I think Sangameshwar has got the answer as B. Right or wrong we'll figure out, but I think majority of you have got option C as the answer. Yeah, both follow. Both 1 and 2 follow. Yeah. And you don't really have to put pen on paper for this. Let me explain the solution to this one first. By the way, Shailendra has got option A. So 3 different answers, A, C or E. Most common one here is C. Now what are the statements? I mean, you don't really have to read the statement there. 2 statements have been given. Look at the conclusions. Immediately jump to the conclusions, right? The first conclusion says P greater than or equal to S. It says P is greater or equal to S, right? P is greater or equal to S. Now try and compare. Straight, P and S both are in the same expression here, right? So you don't really have to worry about it. So P is equal to I. If P is equal to I, P and I can be swapped, right? P and I can be interchanged. So I can take P in place of I. Now what happens? I greater than or equal to L. See, read from right to left. I is greater than or equal to L. L is greater than or equal to S. Rule number 2 of coded inequalities states that when there are 2 variables, when there are 2 inequalities between the variables, the most common part has to be considered as the relationship. So I see that between P and S, actually between I and S, but I is equal to P. So I can say between P and S, there are 2 inequalities, greater than or equal to, greater than or equal to. So what is common? Greater than or equal to is common. And hence the answer is P greater than or equal to S. So option 1 is correct. Conclusion 1 is correct. Conclusion 2, I greater than R. I greater than R. Now compare this part. What do we see? I is equal to P. So P can be replaced with I. So what do we get? I greater than or equal to E greater than R. Again apply rule number 2, the same rule. Between I and R, we have got 2 inequalities, greater than or equal and greater. What is common here? Greater is common. So I can say that I is greater than R. I is greater than R. So 2 is also true. So both conclusion 1 and 2 are true. Right? Sitter, no brainer. Should not take more than 5 seconds would be a little less, I would say, but maximum 10 seconds to mark the answer to this question. If you spend more than 10 seconds in answering this question, I would still consider your answer to be wrong. Even if you have got C, you should be treating yourself, you should treat your answer as wrong, because correct answer alone is not important. You have to be really quick in getting the correct answer. And 10 seconds is the higher limit for this question, upper limit for this question. Let's take the next one. Yeah, 10 seconds is what you have, or 15 seconds, let's say. Let's see how many of you get the answer. Mishra Harini says, sir, will you take a similar session on quant also? Well, Harini, we have already taken 2-3 sessions on quant, similar sessions on quant. You seem to have missed it, but don't miss it in future. Subscribe to our channel and I'm sure you will get notified about all the live sessions and videos that we upload. Got the answer? Time is up. Option B. Yeah. Again, a flood of responses here. Option B is the most common one, which says only one is true. Only one is true, right? But Anil has got only E. Option E, which is neither 1 nor 2 is true. Let's take it up, right? I think Kirti has also got E. So most common response is B, but some of you have got E as the answer. So let's try this now. What's the first conclusion? T greater than or equal to D. T greater than or equal to D. Now the observation here is T and D are in 2 different statements here, 2 different expressions, right? Expression 1 has got T, expression 2 has got D. So you have to first connect these 2. Connect T with D. So find out what is the common connection between T and D. See, I think D is connected to A, T is also connected to A. So with the help of this common friend A, you have to introduce T to D, right? So do that in the right sequence. You see T greater than or equal to A. T is greater than or equal to A. T greater than or equal to A greater than or equal to D. Read it in the right direction, right? D is less than or equal to A, which implies A is greater than or equal to D. A is greater than or equal to D. And by the time you do this, you should know that the relationship between T and D is what? Greater than or equal to. Again, rule number 2 is applicable, right? Greater than or equal to. So conclusion 1 is true. Conclusion 2, R greater than S. Compare R with S. Yeah, luckily both R and S are in the same expression, so we don't have to worry about connecting them. Now, what are the inequalities between R and S? Greater than or equal, less than or equal. Here itself I will stop. Rule number 3 comes into picture now, right? Golden rule number 3 of coded inequalities. What happens here is, between R and S, you have got two dissimilar inequalities, greater than or equal and less than or equal. We don't have to worry about anything else. The moment you find two dissimilar inequalities between any two variables, those two cannot be compared. R and S cannot be compared, which means the relationship cannot be established. R can be greater than S, R can be less than S, R can be equal to S. All three are possible. But the conclusion says R is greater than S. How does he know? R may be less than S, R can be equal to S. All three are possible. So R greater than S is not a conclusion. It is a possibility. R can be greater than S, but R is not definitely greater than S. Right? There is no relationship between R and S here. No relationship as in definitely there is some relationship, but we cannot establish from the given data. So only conclusion 1 is true. Option B would be the answer. The one thing that you all have to be careful about here is, while you will get option 1, while you will realize that only conclusion 1 is true, you may end up marking option A as the answer. Because usually our brain thinks that, A says only 1 is true and B says only 2 is true. So be careful, don't commit such blunders in the exam, right? Having solved the question properly, if you end up marking A because you're in a hurry, nothing worse can happen. Yeah, so be very careful. One last question before we call it a day. Last question for the session today. Try this out, 15 seconds. The clock has already started. Without putting pen on paper. First one does not follow, rule number 3. Second one, yes, correct, only 2 is true. I think 15 seconds is too much. In 15 seconds, we should be able to solve 3 such questions. Only 2 is true in my view. Right? Look at first one. He's trying to compare A with E. A and E are here. Greater, lesser. Dissimilar inequalities, right? Cannot be compared. A and E cannot be compared. A can be greater than E, A can be less than E, A can be equal to E. All three are possible, but only 2 of the comparisons are given here. Look at second conclusion, C less than F. Compare C with F. Between C and F, we have got less than or equal, less. What is common? Less is common. C is less than F. Option 2 is, conclusion 2 is correct. This is based on rule number 2. So for first one, rule number 3 is applicable. For second one, rule number 2 is applicable. Our answer should be option A. Only conclusion 2 is true. So that's how easy it is to answer questions from coded inequalities. All right. It can be asked in any form. Like here we have got direct statements with conclusions. Sometimes variety of symbols are used. Dollar means neither greater nor equal. Hashtag means neither lesser nor equal, and so on. So you have to first replace the symbols with the proper inequalities, and then do the same thing here, right? In the recent exams, you have also seen that coded inequalities was asked in the form of fill in the blanks. Yeah, you have to just fill up the blanks, right? Based on what happened with syllogisms last year, right? You know that reverse syllogism has been one hot topic over the last 1 year, right? From reasoning section. IBPS, PU, SBA, PU, all these exams had reverse syllogism questions. You may expect reverse coded inequalities also. Conclusions are given. You have to find out which of the statements would make sense for those conclusions to be true. Whatever be the question format, there are only 3 rules. If you stick to those 3 rules, you can answer any question and every question from coded inequalities. And believe me, easiest topic. This is the easiest topic, hands down, from the reasoning section. So you cannot afford to go wrong or lose marks in this particular section, right? So be very careful, and I'm sure you will be you'll be able to do well in the exam. Overall, I think from the reasoning point of view, one of the best ways to solve many questions from reasoning is not to solve those questions. You need to now understand what are those questions which you need to skip, right? We have already discussed one such question in the session today. While we have solved it, I would still suggest that the best way would have been to skip and go to the next one. Yeah. So that's about it. I wish I could solve more questions, but time is limited. I'll have to close it here. However, as a part of the TalentSprint program, you'll have many such live sessions every Tuesday, every Thursday, and every Saturday, covering lots of problem solving, right, from previous papers, from the doubts that our students post in the discussion forums and other sources, right? So see, if you would like to explore our programs, you can visit our website talentsprint.com. However, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and get notified about all these live sessions and the other videos that we upload, right? I'm sure this is a great source of learning. Again, having said that, let me also mention, just going through these videos is not going to help. I mean, you may refer to any video from any channel, but unless you put it in practice and get thorough with it, you'll not be able to score more in the exam, right? What the technique or the smart method would do for you is 10% of the job. 90% is in your hands, right? What is it? Practice, practice, and more practice. On that note, let me close it here. Thank you once again for joining us. Your IBPS PO preliminary exam is just about a week away. And like we had discussed in the beginning of the session, this time that you have, these 7, 8, 10 days that you have before your prelims exam should be dedicated towards not more and more practice, but more and more relaxation and getting mentally ready for the D-Day, right? You have to be fully confident when you walk into the examination center. Don't get too nervous and try and give your best, right? Time is limited, but that's what is the test, right? How best or what best can you deliver in that limited 60 minutes of time, right? So I hope all of you do well in the exam. We will meet again on the coming Wednesday at 6 p.m. for an exam strategy session for your IBPS PO Prelims exam. And yes, we'll also be meeting this Friday at 7 p.m. for a session on quantitative aptitude, right? So don't forget to join us there along with your friends Friday 7 p.m. on your quantitative aptitude session for IBPS PO Preliminary examination. Thank you so much for joining us. Keep practicing and take very good care of yourselves. I'll see you all in the next session. Bye.